All right, boys. So FGO had a live stream yesterday, and we are absolutely eating. We have like just a billion different things that they hit us with. By the way, if my voice sounds off, I was streaming for like 6.5 hours yesterday for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tournament. If you want to join the next one, I'm going to be streaming that in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be announcing it in the Discord, so make sure you come to the Discord to sign up for the next one. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about just all of the nonsense that's coming to the game. So first and foremost, we have this free-to-play servant that is going to be coming out. These are called the... I misunderstood and called them the Tuning Sisters at first, but they're called like the Trung Sisters. It looks like they're going to be a single target servant, because as when they showed them off in the live stream, they had them target one guy, which usually means they're going to be a single target servant. Like usually when they're AoE, they actually have them fight one person. Also, if you peep the animation, like especially in like this part right here, it does just seem like this is more of a single target animation, because they're like lifting up the one person and everything. So like I guess if they want to throw us a curveball, they could technically be AoE, but this is probably going to be a new single target free-to-play servant, which is really good, because keep in mind that most of the single target free-to-play servants tend to be rather broken, i.e. Chloe or Kentucky Rider. So they tend to be very good, but the only thing is that you should probably go finish Lost Belt 2, because it is going to require that you do finish Lost Belt 2 to actually take part in this event. But I have very high hopes for these servants. I'm thinking they'll either be quick or arts. I'm leaning more towards arts right now, because we're still kind of in the arts meta. I'm kind of thinking that we might get that, but then again, you could say we're in the buster meta. But buster meta servants typically work better if they're already like built to be crit damage machines, or they have a 50% battery so they can loop very easily. So I don't see them get like, would they give this free-to-play servant a 50% battery and make them a buster servant so they work with Koya and Skaya? Maybe, like, maybe they'll do that. I don't recall, like, we don't really have a single target buster servant with like a 50% battery. We have like Bedivere, we have like Musashi, we have Sigurd. None of them have batteries. Let me just refresh. I mean, Artori's got like a third. No, she's not even single target, bro. What am I talking about? Yeah, none of these guys have batteries, right? She has a 50% battery, but she's AoE. So it's just like, maybe they could give us a single target buster servant that actually has a fat battery. That would be really good. They'd be free to play. I don't expect them to be this high or even this high in their natural damage, but I don't know. We give them a good special damage mod. Maybe we do something like Avenger Kama, where they can actually place the damage mod on their opponent and smack them really hard. That could all be very interesting. We also have something that I think is a little kind of cool here. We have this FGO Arcade Unite campaign, where basically the arcade version of the game, they have to beat Mother Harlot or like the Beast version of Nero, right? If you've not been keeping up with arcade's been getting very wild, but I think this is, I'm not sure if this is a meme on FGO's side, but it's like, I think they know about the animosity between the arcade version and the mobile version, right? Because the arcade version, they're like, the mobile version has everything. Like, we literally have all of the servants, and they're like, man, I just want to get my hands on those servants. But then, arcade gets exclusive servants, and we're like, dude, we gotta get some of those costumes. Like, I gotta get that Jalter costume, the John dress. I gotta get myself the Christmas version of Suzuka. Like, there's just all these servants that are out, bro. They got mommy sweater Tiamat, and it's like, bro, come on, like, give this stuff to us as well. Like, where's the stuff, man? So I think they understand there's some animosity between arcade and the mobile version. So if the arcade players can beat this raid, basically we'll be getting 10 Saint Cords. So be praying for our arcade brothers, because if they're able to pull it out, if they can get the W, then I don't know, maybe we'll get some 10 Saint Cords, which I'll take 10 Saint Cords, because Skadi is coming back apparently. So we're going to be getting part 2 for the Road to Lost Belt 7. If you guys remember, in the Road to Lost Belt 1, the first of the campaign, Ivan got a really strong buff, and that was actually like really good for him. So could we see like Sigurd get a buff here? Sigurd or Brynhildr? I think either of them could really use a buff. Sigurd, as you guys saw, is already pretty top tier in terms of his damage, but I mean, if I pull up the dude Sigurd, he has like a good basis for his kit, right? Like he has like a good basis for it, but like this is strong, like 100% crit damage. That's very strong. Then he has the Buster buff with the Guts, like, so this gives him good damage for the turn. He has survivability. He has the Star buff thing, which this is pretty nice, but it should probably be 3 turns if they're going to lean into it. And then this is pretty nice, but should also probably be 3 turns if they're going to lean into that. So it's just like, he could probably use a buff if they want to give him that or something. So I'm hoping that of all the people here, they buff him. They just buffed Skadi recently, and it was like a minor kind of nice buff. It wasn't anything broken, but it was just like, it makes her NP more worth it now. So maybe they buff Sigurd, but honestly, I think from Brynn over to the Valkyries, I think they could honestly just buff everybody here, because like Brynn still needs like 1 to 2 more buffs to be super competitive. Sigurd's gonna need quite a bit of tuning up if they want to get him competitive with the meta right now. Napoleon actually is aging pretty well, especially with the 30% battery really being nice with this 20% of pen skill, so he can actually farm. If you want to put a little bit of legwork into it, you can get him done. Sitanai, she probably needs a buff, because again, Sitanai for me like sits in B tierish, right, where she's like, she's not gutter garbage, but she's not the god of the game either, right? Like nobody can agree on how good Sitanai is, so I'm like, dog, just toss her a buff, just give her something. Like I think something as basic as like buffing one of her skills to have 20% buff success rate for like 3 turns, and then I don't know, you just give her like 20% NP damage or something on that skill as well. Like you buff up her damage a little bit, you give her the guarantee for her skill 3, and then I think people are just gonna throw way less of a tantrum about Sitanai, and then she just becomes a more consistent good servant. And then the Valkyries, like, they're not bad. The problem is that Parvati is also in their same job, so it's like, I don't really know what they could do for the Valkyries. Maybe have them lean into a different niche. Maybe give them a buff that makes them hit harder than Parvati. So it's like Parvati's better for looping and they're better for damage. That could be kind of nice. So just maybe something along those lines, because if the Valkyries are competing with Parvati, they're never going to win, because Parvati is just way too dang good. Like, she's almost absolutely flawless as a quick looping servant. It's kind of like when you look at Parvati, it's like that's what you want the kit to look like, where they just have the card buff, the NP gain buff, a battery, ways to buff up their damage on turn 3, right? Just all sorts of stuff. Then even good in challenge quests, but you can AoE charm the entire enemy party. We're not here to talk about Parvati and praise her, but man, you guys, if you have Parvati, you know that she's amazing. Masters over on the JP version of the game, am I so glad that I did not summon for Odysseus, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted the Common Rider version of Odysseus with the new suit. Then Gilgamesh came around and I was like, ooh man, I really want to summon for Gil, but I know somebody in my chat when I was streaming the other day was like, the next banner is probably going to be insane, and boom, they're bringing Skadi back. So I'm really hoping that I can snag myself a Skadi over on JP, in which case it's like, dog, if I don't get Castoria in like August when she comes out, but my JP's got Castoria and Skadi, am I just going to become a JP main at that point? Probably. Like, at that point I'm probably just a JP main, because the global will just be doomed. I'm just going to be stuck, I don't know, hoping I can get Nero Pride or something. I don't know, man. But yeah, Skadi is coming back, and that is a really, really big deal. Keep in mind that even though that I think that Castoria and Koyenskaya are pretty much better than Skadi in every way, Skadi is still the best way for you to farm with your quick servants. She will make your quick servants look really good. Just because they're better than her doesn't mean Skadi's not still an S tier servant. Right? It's the same thing with Merlin. Even though I think someone like Koyenskaya is better than Merlin, that doesn't mean I think Merlin's bad either. Like, we're arguing about like all these S tier servants, or we're arguing about like which of the best servants in the game is truly the best, right? So it's like they're all in S tier, so just keep that in mind. Then we have this. We're going to be getting part 3 of this, and this is just, we're going to be getting a new CE that actually now buffs our Fang drop rate, which this is pretty useful because a lot of servants do tend to need Fangs. I wonder if I can pull it up over here. We'll actually pull, yes, it will pull up. Okay. If you like look at this, it's like servants tend to need a lot of Fangs. I mean, you can see like people like Nero, Sigurd, like Arthur, it starts to get a bit insane. Someone is wilding outside. Okay, anyway. But yeah, so this will be very good because a lot of these servants do need Fangs, especially a lot of these newer servants. Melusine being one that, you know, I know a lot of people are going to be wanting. Nikki just came out and she still needs 105. So yeah, pretty insane that we're going to be getting that. And then this was the final thing that they announced. It's whatever. I guess you need to finish Lost Belt 2 for the event, so it's 4th AP, get it done, I suppose. The start dash campaign increasing is pretty interesting, so if you're someone that, you know, I'm sponsored by LD Emulator, so if you want to download that and play FGO JP, linked in the description down below, you want to download that, you can actually get this buff to the start dash campaign, which, as you guys know, is pretty crazy now on FGO. Like, you can log in now and you can get some pretty fat tickets and quartz. Like, you are getting quite the buff, dude. So, very good time for FGO, just in general. Looking forward to the new event, but make sure you're still farming the Lotto event as it is right now. With all that being said, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.